Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first 11 Ground of Football Tottenham Hotspur. We're back again for another Friday. Alan, welcome back once again, the VP of the team. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good week for us. Just been a happy week. You had a good week?
Not too bad. Not too bad, mate. How was the experience in the Football Terrace studios for the live watch along?
It wasn't good for most of it because we were behind, and the last couple of minutes was amazing. And as you saw by my reaction, I kind of lost it a bit, but yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Very good. Going back there for the Chelsea game. Back there for the Chelsea game.
Well, back there on Sunday as well.
Yeah, might be different as well.
Let's hope it's the same celebrations then, Alan. Maybe not the same drama, but it's Tottenham, so we are.
My old tick, I can't take it anymore.
And Kirst, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. After that performance the other night, I think we're all on a bit of a Tottenham high this week, aren't we?
Just a little bit, especially yourself with all the Højbjerg noise you've been getting these past few months, and he's pulled out.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, it's been bliss shutting them up.
You'll have plenty of chance to do that tonight as well. And Mark, faithful companion, the only one who turns up on time, including myself. I don't turn up on time either. It's just Mark who gets here on time. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. You?
Yes, very
good
well.
Week,
You enjoyed your week, Mark?
Yeah, good week. Lots to talk about. A bit ratty up until the 94th minute, but after that, it's been fantastic.
Yes, very good. Well, Alan, we'll get started straight on Leicester game. Me and Mark were discussing before we came on 27 shots on goal, Leicester's goal. I mean, how could it be this different to the last manager and the last tactics? Did you expect it to be a performance like that before the game?
Not as much as that. I expected it to be a better performance, purely for the fact is, looking at it logically now, the game's done and dusted. It was a very changed Leicester team to what would probably have played if they had all their players fit and everything like that. So, and players from AFCON. So that aided us a bit, but still, you have to play well. We played the best I've seen us play for quite some time. The intensity was there, the play was there. You know, getting forward, driving at people, which normally with Spurs in the last year and a half, 2 years, it's all been negative, back, slow. So for me, that was a vast difference. Kane, he had one where he ballooned over where he should have scored, but Kane looked back to his normal self, which it may be that it was against a weakened Leicester team, so that's why he showed up. If he continues it for the rest of the season and gets 15, 20 goals, then we're getting there with him, you know, depending on if he wants to stay. Royal, we should never see Spurs. We should never see him in the Spurs shirt again. You know, there was good performances around by certain players. And who knew Bergwijn could score 2 goals in the game, let alone in the calendar year? Yeah, it's wonders never cease to amaze. But yeah, very good game to turn it around. Normally in those type of games, we always lose points, and Spurs. Yeah, this time we didn't. Hopefully that's the Conte effect, and hopefully this is the ending like that will make us go on and get because when I say results. In the Chelsea game, we normally always go there and lose. You know, hopefully, because for me, a result at Stamford Bridge is a draw plus anything better than that because of the history we have there. So hopefully, after that, we can go on and just, it puts on a continued run under Conte, and we'll get that top 4.
Hopefully, mate. I mean, Kirst, how was you feeling during the game? Obviously, we dominated throughout. We had 2 players off the line.
Yeah.
We hit the ball. It was an end-to-end. No, I can't even say end. It was Tottenham. We literally dominated for 90 minutes. How did you feel at 2-1 Leicester? Was you a bit as frustrated?
Yeah, to be honest, when it was 2-1, you kind of, when any team, we're playing away, especially when any team kind of takes that lead, you're kind of thinking to yourself have they done us here? Especially when I thought Barnes was going to score that 3rd goal from, obviously Højbjerg did the block, didn't he? I had to get that in, honestly. I was so chuffed to bits because I was thinking, if they made it to 3-1, there was no way we would have won that game. no way, and we wouldn't have been anywhere near as happy as we are right now. But yeah, as you say, we started really well. I thought obviously we dominated throughout, but especially in the early stages. Obviously, Leicester then took the lead for a bit because we had so many like missed chances, which I think was haunting us, and you could see like the frustration, on like the players' faces, especially Kane. But like Alan said, like we were seeing Harry Kane, but like the pre-Manchester City rumours Harry Kane, like the Kane that actually bleeds Tottenham Hotspur. And I think that if this is him making kind of like a comeback and we're going to see more of this, I'm all for it because I've missed seeing this type of Harry Kane performance when we're watching Tottenham. And to be honest, I would never expected Winks to have assisted that long shot to Kane in the first half as well. Like, I thought, who assisted it? And then I looked and obviously I was watching and I noticed it was Winks and I was like, oh my God. Because there's obviously like last summer, everyone wanted him to go, myself included. I'd have been happy to get rid of him on a free. And now he's such a crucial part to that midfield, like our midfield three especially. So yeah, that entire performance, I don't even think it was like a lucky win. I think we deserved to win because we played absolutely like out the net. Like, oh yeah, I was just really happy with that result.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, I'll talk to you about Harry Kane as well because you have been his defender on this show. You've had to listen to the likes of Alan Clark dig him out week after week after
Why use
week.
my full name?
You're in trouble, Alan. That's what you do when someone's in trouble. Full name only.
Alan Ruben Clark.
Ruben? No, it's not Ruben.
It's definitely Richard. But anyway, Mark, we'll to see him perform like that, obviously, we hope it's not a one-off. He got his goal, he hit the bar, and even just the celebrations for the goal and after the game. I mean, we've been missing that all season, haven't we? Now.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I've been using that cricket analogy, haven't I, with Kane? You know, you won big score away, and look, he could have had 4 goals on Wednesday, and he's going to come right. You know, his first goal was fantastic, wasn't it? That was the old Kane. You know, that was where he ran with the ball, he backtracked, he turned, and he shot, and it was brilliant. I would have put my house on the second one last year or the year before for him to score that, and then he blasted it over and everything. Heads against the bar. But then his through ball to Bergie, and oh God, it was just back to vintage Kane. And I just think he's buying into the Conte effect, you know. And long may that continue. If that continues like that, then I think Kane, Sonny, I think all those players that maybe were a little bit disillusioned over the last year and a half, and everything. We get in a few more players. You're just going to see a totally different side. So you could see right at the end when he scored there that passion. I haven't seen that in Kane for, a year maybe. He really, really looked up for it. And, you could see that one was for the fans and things like that, Even Antonio Conte going there. I don't know if you heard them singing his name and everything. And what I didn't like was the stewards didn't want us to get anywhere close, did they? Did you see them even come onto the field at the end to try and stop us? But as for Harry Kane, I don't think he's 100% there. I think his mind's there now. I think he's committed and everything. He just needs to get his target practice online, and I think you'll start to see hat tricks and things like that. But lovely to see that, especially coming up to play Chelsea on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. We need that hungry Harry Kane back. But Alan, another player who stood out for me personally, I want to know if he did for you as well, was Oliver Skipp. He looked a bit more of an advanced role in that game. How do you think he played?
I thought it was good. For me, it was. I don't think he played anywhere different to what he normally did, even if he was a bit more advanced. I just thought he had the normal decent game. I didn't think he was as much standout as what you probably did. So maybe we saw the game differently. I was kind of watching in silent mode because obviously in there, but. Yeah, I just thought he had a normal standard, good game from Skipp. I thought he done really well. I wouldn't say it was an amazing performance, but I think it was just what Skipp does. He's just solid and steady in the middle of the park.
Yeah, I mean, Kirst, I've spoke to Mark about a player he's had to defend on this show, but a player you've had to defend not only on this show but on Twitter against hundreds of people. Højbjerg, I think he played.
He was outstanding, and honestly, like, I'm not being biased. If Stevie didn't have scored them 2 last-minute goals, I genuinely would have put him as my man of the match because, like I said earlier, if it wasn't for him, we would have probably lost that game 3-1, maybe even 3-2 at a push. But yeah, not just that, but he started off, didn't he? Because he lofted that ball to, I always pronounce his name wrong, but Doherty in the box, which obviously created Stevie's first goal, which was our second. And then he won the ball off Telemans and passed that to Kane, which obviously built up the second goal. So he was just always there. Like, he made so many crucial chances for us, which led us to be more beneficial in the match. And we saw a side of him that I've seen for when I've watched his Denmark games. And this is why I'll always like try and defend him, because when he's had a rest, like, us obviously missing the Arsenal match did him the world of good because he had a rest, he's come back, and you saw how great it was during that, especially that second half. Yeah, I just think that he's one of them players where he's determined and he's always worn his heart on the sleeve. He has had some games where obviously it's not worked out for him, but I don't think that he's entirely to blame for that. Like, he's been overplayed for so long, hasn't he? Like, for Spurs, for Denmark. Like, all last season, he played pretty much every single game. So, yeah, I'm just chuffed a bit that he's finally been able to have, like, a really good game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the comment section is a bit wrong tonight, so we'll just, we'll no, definitely not. We're not, no one's Chelsea. I don't even think.
Who invited him?
I don't know, Alan. I don't know. He's just there, isn't he? He always seems to be here at the minute. He's either antagonising Mark and getting him to be naughty with his Klopp too cool Conte comments, and now he's here to cause more trouble about the game. But Mark, the right back at half time who came on, Matt Doherty, what a player. What an absolute legend of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. How do you think he played when he came on, Mark? Because I think that's probably his best game in a Spurs shirt, and he didn't. It's not hard, obviously. It's not hard to have his best game, but he actually caused quite a lot of problems, which led to our second goal as well.
Yeah, no, he did. And just to follow up on the midfields that Alan and Kirsty were talking about, before I go on to that, do you not think we play so much better when we've got 3 in the midfield and the 2 wing backs? I loved seeing Skippy in the big box. I loved seeing Højbjerg coming through. I thought we looked so much more solid with just having the 2 up front with Lucas. And to be fair, I don't think Lucas had his best game on Wednesday. That's the one thing. I don't think that wasn't Lucas's best game. And good that he didn't have his best game then, because I think if he did have his best game, he would have been far ahead of that. But I don't say he was poor, but I don't think he had his best game. I don't think he really ran at them. But I think we look so much more solid when there's 3 of us, Winks, Højbjerg, and Skip. And yeah, like Kirsty was saying, the way Winks is coming on, the way Højbjerg played, it allows one of them to go up. Doherty, look, credit where credit's due. For me, that was his best game. When he first came out, he was going ice skating, didn't you? Did you see his socks all the way up down to his thighs and all that? So, but I thought he was very good. I thought he got the ball. I thought he ran with the ball. Some of his passing was still a little bit offish and everything. Alan said he hopes he never sees Emerson in a Spurs shirt again. But to be fair, after listening to Conte today, Emerson went out there playing with an injury. Where Conte wanted to stop him from playing, but Emerson said no. And I think Conte likes that. He's come out and said he's a warrior. Those are the kind of players I want. He played through the pain. So fair dues, I still think he's young, he's new. I wouldn't start Doherty over Emerson, but then on the same hand, I'm not staking up for Emerson. I still think we need another right wing back. And hopefully the Traore deal from what everybody's talking about is going to happen. But I thought Doherty played his best game for us. I think he was there. He was in the mix. He was trying to get there. His crossing was a lot better. If only Regulon was running in and he thought, look, let me hit this first time instead of letting it bounce into his belly. Did you see that? Because I thought that was a fantastic cross right to the back of you. So I do think they've been practicing a lot of crosses. I think the last couple of games, we've actually started getting some of our cross, even some of our corners have been actually making it into the goal side. So I think they've been working very hard on that, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, before I go to Alan and ask him why the facial expressions on everything that's being said at the minute, obviously, Nipun's in the comments. Thank you, as always. Every Friday he shows love. But, Alan, quick question for all of you. Is there a player from Chelsea you would take right now to come straight into our team?
Rudiger.
Kirst?
Oh my God, I was on mute. Yeah, I'd say the same.
Mark?
I'd take Kante.
I would personally take Reece James at right back. He's definitely going to be a big player. But Alan, explain yourself. Everything Mark was saying then about Lucas, about Doherty, about everything like that. You just always got a face on you. What's wrong with you?
Because I'm allowed to disagree. People are allowed to have differences of opinions, no? Okay, we'll all just think the same way. No, so for me, obviously, clinically, like we're shooting that, he could have done better, but I saw the same Mora picking up the ball, driving, turning, running at people. And there's, to be fair, he was passing it off to Harry Kane, who was picking out balls and stuff like that. So I think it's the best they've ever worked together for me. In regards to Emerson Royal, he plays through the pain. He's a warrior. He plays through the pain. He hardly plays when he's absolutely fine. He's that awful a player. So no, for me, I just don't want to see him again. He's awful, even when he is trying to play. He can't do anything really, so he should go. And Doherty, he had his best performance in the fact that he kind of helped assist the second goal. But apart from that, when I was in the studio, I was saying, you watch him. He'll either cross across the front of goal when he should cut back, or he'll cut back when he should cross. And the guy next to me, the Man United fan, he was like that. You called that even before he came on the pitch. It was like, it's what he does. I saw the second thing for the second goal. Yeah, okay, he got him to the right area, and he carried on a run. I'll give him full credit for that, because if he doesn't do that, we don't get our second goal. Give him full credit for that. It's not all hate one way. I'll give him credit where credit's due. But apart from that, yeah, he was getting forward and putting runs in, but he's decision making is awful. Royal's decision making is awful, and if we do get a Adama Traore who's on that side, his decision making is awful. For me, it's not an upgrade if we get him.
No, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to
that, Alan. Obviously,
it's a really bad area of the pitch for us, in my opinion.
Obviously, Prime is telling you to relax as well. Don't accept Doherty slander.
We bloody do. We do, Prime. It's such. Oh, for God's sake.
Wants to give credit and move on.
I gave credit where credit was due, and that was it.
We're going to move on, Prime. You called it. I mean, Kirst, Mark spoke about it earlier as well, about the three-man midfield we have. Obviously, that's the one thing Alan did nod in agreement with. But if you go with that three-man midfield, Kirst, who do you leave out? Because we've got Son coming back after the break, and Lucas Moura's still there. So do you fit the three-man midfield, or do you go with Don't Talk Top?
I don't know. It's quite obviously we can't leave Sonny out. He's one of our best players. I would definitely keep the three-man midfield, because I think that as a 3-5-2, we play better that way than we do a 3-4-3, because there's more control over the midfield. And we saw that with not only the Leicester game but the Liverpool game as well, because I'm sure that's the formation that we had with that one. I don't know really. Like, I would definitely keep the Son. Just trying to think off the top of my head. Like, it's a hard one, because I wouldn't know who I would take out.
We can get rid of Højbjerg if you want. Just bring.
No, we cannot. We cannot.
He said it. He said it.
Yeah, well, he wants to stop saying that.
Did Lucas not go in at left wing back?
No, he can't. I don't think that would be.
No, did he not go in at left wing back for the last 20 minutes when Regulon came off and Bergwijn came on?
Did he?
He might have, but Bergwijn only came on for 10 minutes. I think he came on in like the 84th minute. He got
79th.
79th.
I think he went to a 4-3-3 basically, because I think
Yeah,
Moore was higher up on the left hand side.
Yeah, I think
I thought he
Davis
was
went
tracking
out,
back
didn't
a lot.
he? Yeah, I think Davis went out to left back, but obviously Prime is always in the comments. He wants Højbjerg. He'll take Højbjerg at Chelsea. I think Kirsten will literally keep him at Hotspur.
Yeah, like he's staying with me. Like there's no way we can get rid of
Ask
him.
Prime, would he give us Conte for Højbjerg?
That's a fact, no.
I wouldn't even let him. Like I don't even care how good he is. Like I would not get rid of Højbjerg. You've got me saying it. Oh my god, it's Højbjerg. Yeah. Sorry, I hate it when people say his name wrong, and I've just done it. Thanks, Mark.
Højbjerg. Did you hear that guy on Sky? Højbjerg.
Yeah.
Yeah, in going with what I think we're all agreed that we definitely need 3-5-2 because you definitely have more control of the midfield. What about dropping like a Winks and dropping more back into a middle where he can get the ball and turn and run rather than because it doesn't have to be 3 holding players or 3 defensive minded players. You can have 2 holding and 1 going forward.
In like the sort of role Skip played on Wednesday night, where he's the more advanced midfielder.
Like a combination of between where Ericsson plays high up and used to play high up, and then Bella used to pick up, but like more in the middle, just in that area there, because I think that might work.
Well, we trust Conte. I'm sure he'll figure something out. I'm sure there'll be some happy campers. There'll be some very unhappy campers. But I mean, Mark Steven Bergwijn coming on, like you say, 79th minute. He got booked in the 93rd minute for shoving Soyuncu to the ground. And then he goes and gets 2 goals. I mean, you said before we came on, Mark, that about the 92nd minute you were tempted to turn it off. You were that frustrated with how the game had gone. I mean, did you?
Yeah, I was sitting there, and the only thing that kept me watching it was that the game started at 7:30. So when I was going to turn it off, it was only like 9:10. Usually it's like 10:15. It would have been off. I would have gone, but I kept it on, and I think Bergwijn. Wow. I don't think any of us would have written that script, would we? You know, I heard a comment the other day that was like the Lidl of Ajax. Like, you know, like if Ajax was Tesco's, you know, that was the Lidl of Ajax. Brilliant for him. I've always liked him. I've never really slagged him off. He's had a lot of injuries. It's always been like, where do we fit him into the team? Like when everybody's fully fit. Does he start all the time, you know, and things like that? So it's a tough one, but he's got a lot of pace. But I think we all know since he's come, you know, he's always performed at the Dutch level, hasn't he? You know, he's always performed for Netherlands when he's been in the in the Dutch team. Not saying that they've blown up the world over the last 5-6 years. You know, they've actually gone backwards. But yeah, I'm chuffed for him. The problem now is, you know, I think he's added another 10 million to his price tag, number one. But I think listening to Conte, I don't think Conte ever wanted to get rid of him because he came out and said he's got a certain characteristic that nobody else has got. I don't know what that characteristic, he didn't say. Do you guys know what that characteristic that he's got? That nobody else in the team has? I don't know. Maybe it's that thing he does in his forehead. I don't know. Kirsty's daughter did it the other day. I saw a picture of Kirsty's daughter doing it, so that was brilliant. But no, I'm chuffed for him. I think it's brilliant for his confidence. I think the confidence in the team now, I think that can actually galvanize the whole team. Because did you see the players like Rodon and even them? Have you watched Conte Cam? Have a look at Rodon, who we think he's just not interested anymore. He's up and jumping up and down with the coaches and everything. I don't know. Something like that could just galvanize. On the same hand, that something like that could destroy Leicester, and Leicester could just go the other way now. You know, this isn't about football now. This is about mental strength, and something like where Kane is really. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the team could gel, and you know, for the next 15 games, we could win every game. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean?
Very quickly, thank you for remembering me like Conte cam. Not that, but I think it was a fan cam or something like that, or it was Conte cam, because when everyone's celebrating over the far side, in front of the thing, you've got like the subs and everything like that. This is after the game. There's one person and one person only walking so slow across the pitch, not even enjoying or joining in all that, and that's Dele Alli. And that basically tells me that he's on his way. Good riddance. Get out of our club. Just a poor attitude he's got when the rest of the team are all celebrating.
Watch Conte cam when the last goal goes in, right? And everybody gets up except you don't see Dele Alli, but you see Rodon, you see them all jumping up, hugging each other, Conte and but I never saw Dele Alli. Have a look at, I don't know if you've seen Conte cam, but have a look at it and you see everybody, and you're right, there's no Dele Alli there.
Yeah, good, you can go.
Yeah.
I've had enough of it.
Hopefully, obviously, we'll talk about.
I think he will go. I think, listening now, is it Newcastle and Everton or somebody that are talking now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Prime, there is a Conte cam. It's on the Tottenham Hotspur YouTube channel. I thought you'd have known that because we did a Mourinho cam as well. I thought you'd have been all over that, Prime. An actual Mourinho cam. I can't believe you didn't know that. Before we go on, obviously, got a couple more. One more from the pun, obviously. Alan, you first. Who's more crucial, Lucas or Bergwijn?
Lucas.
Yeah,
that's easy question.
Kirst?
Lucas, all day.
Mark?
I agree. Well, at the moment, absolutely, the way he's performed, yeah.
Yeah, and we've got one from Rams as well. Thank you very much for coming into the show. Wants to know how happy we were that they slapped Arsenal at the Emirates, thanks to Diogo Jota. Alan?
Yeah. Little happy. No, nothing major. Little happy.
I can't believe Arsenal's problems that game as well. They had no players. I'm surprised they didn't let postpone that game, Arsenal.
Have you noticed now they've got another suspension? They're not going to postpone the Burnley game, are they? No, of course not, because it's a home game against Burnley. Cheating. Cheating scum.
Let's calm Alan down. Let's go to somewhere else now. Let's calm him down. I mean, Alan, talk to me about Chelsea on Sunday. I mean, this game, obviously, the Leicester game will still mean something, but if we go to Chelsea and play absolutely awful, no one's going to remember this Leicester game, are they?
Very true. So for me, we just need a positive result. And for me, that is either a draw or a win. We go to Chelsea, I think we've won once there in 30 years. That's how bad we normally perform there. So any positive result that's not a loss, for me, is a bonus. If we go there and lose, for me, that's not good enough. You need to build on these type of results and the way the game ended. So for me, a loss won't be sufficient, but that's just me as a rival fan as well. You have to build on those type of moments to you see the togetherness in the team and everyone buying into the plan and playing like Harry Kane come back to form and other people buying to be like Doherty. The effort and everything he put in was much better than what he has previously, although his final ball's questionable. That's a good one. But yeah, I mean, I agree, like we discussed a little while ago, we have to flood the midfield. We have to have three in the midfield. We can't. That's why, not obviously in a bad way, but that's why I'm glad one of the front three are not there. Like in Son's out injured, because I think if we played three and we had two in the middle like we did against them in the League Cup, I think Chelsea was hair through us. We also have to put it on them. Like teams that go at Chelsea and get in their face and stuff like that cause them problems. When we sit off and just let them dictate play, they outplay us, outpass us, outmuscle us, everything like that. So we just need to just stand up and be counted for a change. And I hope that's what Conte does and just go, look, you know what you guys can do, how you play towards that, keep going, don't give up. We're going to play higher up the pitch, like a further 5 or 10 yards up the pitch to actually put pressure on Chelsea. None of sitting back and, we may see us get a point or better, but, our history at their ground isn't good. So, I want to be as positive as possible, but I just have to be realist as well. So that's, for me, a draw. We'll keep the run going and we'll move on to the next game.
Yeah, I mean, how long have we been doing this Friday show now? Is it about half a year, 7 months?
But since the start of the season.
This season?
Yeah, this season, yeah. Start of this season, we started doing it.
All right, well, fair enough. Well, this is the first time I agree with Alan. This is the first time I've actually agreed with Alan on this show because the way you've just spoken about the Chelsea game and how you would approach it, I'll do it exactly the same thing. I'll go into that game. I mean, Kirsty, you're the same. If you're in Conte's shoes, would you go to the lads and tell them, look, they are vulnerable. Brighton's just played them. Brighton could have, maybe should have won that game. Do you go out all out attack and say, right, put them under pressure straight away?
Yeah, like you've got to keep going at them because they do crack, and we've seen that happen with them. However, we do need to put our chances away when we get them, because we won't get many chances to get them. Like we're not good with away games, especially at Stamford Bridge. Like Alan said, our record is not very good. Like, it is awful. And as well, the fact they've got Reece James out with a hamstring injury. Yes, possibly. I don't think he'll be back for our game, but I know he's due back soon. He's possibly out, which works in our favour. And the fact that we're potentially going to have Dyer when Ryan said yeah, I think that's going to be beneficial to us. We just need to keep getting at them. Like, to be honest, just because of our history with Chelsea, I'm not very hopeful. But so I'm not going to go in as confident as I know some of our fans will be. Personally, I'm predicting a 2-1 defeat, but that's just me. I'm not very confident when it comes to them. But yeah, we just need to keep going at them. Like, we got battered in the first leg. The second one, if we'd have put a bit more fight into it, we'd potentially have maybe... saying that, I don't think we'd have won the second leg. We lost 1-0, didn't we? But yeah,
but it's because we started so slow and stood off them, and we allowed them to.
Yeah, we just need to keep going at them. Yeah,
in the second half, we put them under pressure and we played much better.
Yeah, literally, just keep going at them, like you said. Go at them like Brighton did. But yeah, I think that they will crack if we go at it with everything that we've got. I think that if the players are confident and they've got that boost from the win the other day, I think we do stand a chance, but I'm not going to be too hopeful because I don't want to be too disappointed if it goes the wrong way.
Now, that is the true sound of a proper Tottenham fan. That is not too hopeful. That is
just disappointment.
That is a true Tottenham fan. But I always say that this is why I've got the best panel on YouTube, because my guests, they always segue into what I want to ask the next panelist, and Kirst just brought it up, Mark, about Eric Dyer. I mean, a year ago, would you have said that you were happy to see Eric Dyer back in the team? Because I know I'm happy to see him back.
I think out of all of us, I think I was more pro Eric Dyer than not Eric Dyer. I've never really said he needs to go.
Maybe not the WhatsApp, Mark. Maybe not the WhatsApp, Mark.
No, listen, even Harry Kane, I wanted to go on WhatsApp. So, but that doesn't tell me I don't love him. Look, I like Eric Dyer. I always thought he was a good player, and he's lost his way a little bit, but he's come really good. And yeah, I don't think a year ago any of us would have been sitting here. He would have been starting. We all were sitting here saying we need two kind of centre backs, and especially since we lost Vertonghen and since we lost Alderweireld and people like that, But I think he stepped up. So coming Sunday, he's ready. My other concern is, why is Romero not playing though? Why can Dyer's come back after him? I've been watching Romero in the training and everything, and he's going full for it. Is it because he's not going to Argentina and they don't want to play him before that? Because if he plays, then he has to go to Argentina or something.
I think it's something like that.
I don't know if there's an agreement with the Argentinian coach and says, look, if you don't play him, then he doesn't have to come, kind of thing. No, I'm happy he's back. Look, my other worry is, and I don't know if you heard Conte, there's a couple of niggles. There's two that's got niggles, and I'm hoping one of them's Emerson. But I don't know. I'm hearing the other one might be Reguilon again. So I don't know. Because he went off, didn't he? And I don't know if that was just tiredness or because he had just come back. I just hope it's not Kane or Lucas or somebody like that. You know what I mean? But no replays for Eric Dyer. But who falls out? Tanganga, and we go back to the Dyer, Sanchez. But Sunday we have to start 5 in the middle. We need to play 3-5-2. We have to. That's our strongest. Reece James not in the side. I see Christensen's not playing. They still don't have Mendy. Who else is missing? I think there's one or two other players missing as well. So, I don't know if you watched the game against Brighton. I certainly didn't, but from reading it, Brighton were very, very good against them. And so they haven't done fantastically well in the league, have they? If you look at their last 7 results, Chelsea haven't done fantastically well. So if you're going to play them, we've got to go there with no fear, unfortunately. We can't go there with fear. And I know what Kirsty's saying, that when we play Chelsea, 9 times out of 10 we lose. But, it's that old adage. If you keep on saying, well, that's the way it is, it's always going to be like that. So we've got to go there with a mentality. And this is where it comes down to mental side now. We've got to go with the mentality after Wednesday's win, the way we won that. We've got to go there thinking, do you know what? We're going to spank them. We're going to go there and we're going to win. And listen, if we play like we did on Wednesday, but we actually score the goals that we could have, we'll batter them.
Yeah, I mean, Alan, I'll ask you about the lineup, Alan, because Prime commented earlier. He says that he's surprised Conte's not tried more at right wing back and Emerson at right centre back. Obviously, he's had Conte at Chelsea himself. Do you see any surprises at the weekend? Do you think Bergwijn might come in after his heroics and maybe he'll go back to that 2-man midfield?
If he does go back to that 2-man midfield, I think it's a loss. In my honest opinion, I think Chelsea will just have too much in the midfield and go through us like they did in the league. I don't think that's the way to go about it. I expect to stay with a 3-5-2, pack the midfield. Although he done well in if he's going to play the 3-5-2, I think he will start Doherty because Emerson's got a thing. So he puts Bergwijn in over Lucas after just 2 goals in 2 minutes? I don't think so. I think he's going to stick to the team that played against Leicester, with the exception of Dyer bringing him back in. And for me, Tanganga's the one that needs to sit out, although Dan Sanchez has had some awful, games as well. But I think it's the blind leading the blind. I'm not a massive Eric Dyer fan because although he's played well so far this season, he's always had that where he can have good spells and then be awful for a long period of time. Let's hope that he's got better under Conte and the fact that he can keep up the level that he was producing. If he does, then he's progressing as a centre-back. But we can't do 2 men in the midfield. We have to keep to the same people. And hopefully if we have Bergwijn on the bench, he's got the experience now. Well, he's got the confidence that if he comes on, he can now go on and, he knows he can score because, let's be honest, he hadn't scored in the whole calendar year or got 1 or 2 goals. So I just think stick to the same team, the same energy in that game and have the same people in the same places and the people to come off the bench. And I think it will breed confidence into that team. Miss about of it too much and you could take a backward step.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very sorry, Nipul. I did miss your question about Kane or Son never scored. I know Kane scored in that Battle of the Bridge game when we went 2-0.
They both did. So did Son.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure Kane scored this coming weekend as well. It's just one of them. It's just one of them. Maybe 2 or 3 he got. But Kirst, I mean, how do you see this game going? Do you think we'll go in how you, Alan, and Mark would like us to go in, or do you see us reserved again, like the League Cup?
You're on mute, Kirst.
Yeah, she might just have popped out. I can see she's written something there for us. I'll answer that, Ryan.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'm with Alan. I think we've got to stick to the 5. We look so much more solid, and I think Conte would have learned a lot against the two times we played against them, because we played, 3 up front, didn't we? And they ran the midfield. They were all over us. So I don't think he's going to do that. Just another big shout. Hugo Lloris signing an extension to his contract. So that's our first signing for the season, for the January transfer. So, more to follow. But pleased with that. I think that will give us all a lift, knowing that, we've got our captain who signed for another 2.5 years. So, it's a difficult one. I'm with Alan. I don't think Bergwijn just walks into the team now. I'd be very surprised if he dropped if he dropped Lucas for Bergwijn, unless Lucas is a little injured and tired, he might start Bergie. That's the only reason why I would say he would do that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very similar side. I don't think I think Doherty will start, because I don't think I think he'll be injured, Emerson, from what I've heard and what I've listened to. So I think the only change that you'll see is Dyer for Tanganga, and then you might see Tanganga on the right instead of Doherty. I don't know. There's a toss up there, but I think I'll see the same side if Reguilon's fit. Yeah, I think you'll see the same side with Winks and Højbjerg and Skippy.
Yeah. Do you think the same, Alan? Do you think Skip, Winks, and Højbjerg will start in a 3 if we start it, or do you think he'll bring in a Lo Celso, let's say, someone? I know we're not a big fan of Lo Celso, but do you think he might want somebody who is more attacking wise and defensive wise if he goes with that 3?
No, I don't. No, for me, if you put Lo Celso in there, right, and you try and be too attack, we want attacking in the fact that you want the wing backs to get up and you want that core in the midfield. If you take away one of the sitting midfielders, because some of them can play, like they're not the best playmakers. But if you go too much, you still expose the middle of the pitch, like in the fact that you've got one going up and you've got 2 sitting. You just need to stay to what you know, because also with the balls in over the top, you want to have someone like Moura running onto it, or even Kane, because Kane can find a pocket of space and then pit like we did against Leicester, a ball over the top. That's what we did against Liverpool. I think you can do that all the time. And Chelsea like to play the wing backs up high, so there's gap in behind. But we've never exploited that against Chelsea. And when Tuchel's done that, for some reason, we just allowed him to come onto us, and we can't get out. So I think if we go too attacking, it's a mistake. I think we need to keep to the same people. When I said about bringing Moura in and do like the 3 him as behind the Son and Kane, I mean that for more at home and against lower teams, because you need to be more attacking and have attacking lineups against the smaller teams to get those 3 points easier. But yeah, I don't want to go too. When I say about the team pressing up higher, that's what I mean about the team. I don't want to go having someone like Lo Celso in who doesn't do the work ethic, who has got a pass on him, but it takes him an awful long time to get that pass off, and somebody who's not going to work for the team. I'd rather keep it as it is in the middle of the park.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, is there anyone in Chelsea's side who worries you a bit? Obviously, they've not been in the best of form at the minute. Their £100 million striker's not been firing at the minute. That's why Prime must still be begging for Kane, because he's not happy with the striker that they've bought. Mason Mount's been in and out of the side. Reece James when Chilwell are missing. Is there anyone that you look at in that team and worry about?
I think if they all of them click and they play at 100%, we're in trouble. I worry that they got quite a good defense. So if you got Rudiger and Silva together, I think Kane struggles. The last time Kane was Silva, is it Silva? Thiago Silva? He had him in his pocket. Rudiger, I'd like us to see us get in his face and him get a red card, because I think he's another one that's a red card, a walking away from a red card. I really, really do. You get under his skin and he'll explode. So we need to look at that. I think their defense can be pretty strong, and that's my only worry. If they get on top of us, they just nullify us. And then they've got the attacking prowess to score so quickly. So, but saying that, they've been poor. I don't know what it is about them. Maybe Prime can let us know. They haven't been vintage Chelsea, and they haven't been that for, I know they beat us, but they haven't been vintage Chelsea for the last 7-8 games. So I don't know if it's fatigue. I don't know if it's tiredness. I know they have some injuries. They have people at AFCOM. But they just don't seem to be gelling. And Lukaku, since his comments, he hasn't come back and destroyed anybody. So for me, it's the ones that play really well are the defenders. So if Rudiger and Silva are on their game, well, we don't really score. And to win these games, you have to score, don't you? Because 9 times out of 10, they will score. So we need to score. Even if it's going to be a draw, we do need to score. And that would be my only worry, their defense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to come back to you at the end for the predictions. Kirsty's coming back. She's just got a teething baby at home, so I understand where she's going and why she's not here. Obviously, Jacob as well. He'll be back. I spoke to him earlier. He's looking to hopefully be back towards the end of February once he's got his night shifts sorted. So we'll be back to a full team. But Alan, straight to transfers. Looks like our £60 million man could be heading out on loan to link up with an old manager. Are you happy to see the back of him?
Yeah, which is a shame because, like I said, he's got all the gear but no idea, and his mentality doesn't apply himself. If he had the mentality, you know, of say like a Kante or someone like someone in the middle of the park, so, you know, who work for the team, give everything and all that, then you got the makings of a world-class player in your hands. He's got that much ability, he just doesn't use it. He's so slow. He came from the French league and he was barely jogging around and stuff like that. I think he'll walk it in Italy because it's a slower league, and I think he's got the time to just do what he wants to do. But in the Premier League, it's got to be, you know, 100 mile an hour, you know, 100%, all from the off to the final whistle. I don't think he's got it in him. You know, I don't think he'll ever have that in him. You know, he's a luxury player, but luxury players can also have work ethic as well, and he just doesn't have it. So, yeah, I'm not really sad to see him go. He's not really contributed to much this season. So, yeah, he can go.
Yeah, Mark, is that the same for you? Are you happy it's a loan, or would you rather us take a big loss that we would have to anyway to sell him?
I think take a loss and let him go. Because even if he went to Paris Saint-Germain and blew it up there, or went to AC Milan or Napoli and blew it up there, after 2.5 years and what he's done, do you want him back, or would you rather just get a small fee for him, get him off our wage book, and then we can look forward and actually concentrate on somebody else? Because what do they say? You can't change a leopard's spots, or once you're a leopard, you're always a leopard. You know what I mean? So, you know, is he going to come back after destroying somebody in the French league and that, and all of a sudden come back to Spurs and tear it up here? No, he's been given so many chances. You know, you can only give somebody 2-3 chances. If they're not going to take them, he's had 4 managers now. So, I listen, I'd be very surprised he goes to PSG. I'd be very surprised, and that's just me.
Aren't we talking Roma in Italy? Is that like with Mourinho? That's what we're talking about, isn't it?
But also he was in PSG.
No, I'm talking PSG with Poch.
Oh, I thought there was talk about him going. Okay, I thought there was talk about him going.
No, I know PSG have.
It's both.
PSG have approached us for him as well, but we've told PSG they'll have to pay his entire wages while he's there.
Yeah.
And they've offered us Leandro Paredes, the Argentinian, but he don't want to come to us, and Conte don't want him. And Conte said there's no PSG player that they're offering that he wants. So it's a bit of a
wow. Yeah. Wow, I think he would take Messi, wouldn't he?
But let's look at it logically, right? If we I've got feedback. No, it's gone now. So basically, if we
feedback, you stink.
No feedback. Like I can hear stuff. Let's look at it logically. If we put him out on loan,
Ryan,
you know, I heard. I just didn't find it funny. But anyway, if we put him out on loan,
we don't find you funny either. Anyway.
Wait. No, it's cool. Anyway, if we put him out on loan, then the team that loans him has to pay some of the wages, which means it comes off our wage bill. But then while he's there, if he hits the ground running and plays phenomenally, his value goes up. So it's a win-win. If we just sell him and make a loss on him, then we just take the loss, you know. And then that way we're paying the wages, or the other team is as well, paying half it or whatever the greed is. And then if he does ball out over there, then it's a win-win for us because it goes through, his value goes up compared to what it would be. Because at the moment, we paid, what was it, 60-odd million for him? I think we'd get 30 at best.
Yeah.
If he balls out, if he balls out in France and all that, you can easily push that out to 50.
Yeah, well,
what if he goes over there and he does nothing and he has to come back for another 2 years with us and we have to pay another 22 million of his wages?
That's in hindsight.
Well, so it's in hindsight that he's going to go over there and add his value.
Mark, that's neither here nor there. There's nothing here. No.
Cut
it's
your
no,
loss and
no,
let him go.
That's either here or there because he's doing nothing at the moment anyway.
All right, so take 30 million and
he earns
take
that
26
much.
million off.
He earns that much in wages. We can't just afford to pay him off. We could do it with Aurier because he doesn't earn that much and he didn't have as much left on his contract.
No. If PSG want to buy him, let them buy him. If PSG come in and say, listen, we'll buy him for 30 million.
Okay, if they do, but they haven't. They want a loan.
No. Well, if somebody comes and wants to buy him, I would say take it. Yeah, loan him with an option to buy. But if somebody wants to buy him, take him. Take him now, full time. Don't wait and loan and say in case he becomes a baller, then his wages, his price goes up.
No. So we know before he come to us, he was balling out in France. He was a baller. He was a dictating player because it was a slow league. There's every chance, especially with PSG, he gets all the time on the world on that pitch and all that. He can look phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. There's always a chance it will go wrong. But if you put him in a PSG team with all that quality around him, and he has all the time in the world and can play at the slow pace that he wants to, because PSG will control many games and the league, then for me, that's a positive because I guarantee he'll look good. Yeah, there's a chance he can go wrong, but at the moment, he's not doing anything for us apart from sitting on the bench. So his value's not going up. No one's coming in to buy him. There's only loaning. So we loan him out. Loan him out and loan him to the French league.
If that's the only option, yes. But if somebody does come in to buy him, ship him.
We're still waiting on that.
Well,
that for me would be the better option is ship him, whereas the other, like you talk about Dele Alli, I'm sitting on the fence there. Don't sell him, loan him, let him get his mojo back so he can come back to us. That's how I feel about Dele Alli. I feel opposite for Tongue, where I would actually take money and let him go.
We've been waiting for Dele Alli to get his mojo back for 2.5, 3 years now. Also,
but I've seen 2.5 years of stunning football from him as well. I haven't seen anything from Tongue.
Okay, so Dele Alli believed his own height way before anyone else did, and now he's a TikTok star, or he wants to be on TikTok or Instagram and all that. He shows absolutely no intensity, no get up and go in wanting to play for the team. And we just agreed earlier on in the thing, he's absolutely disrespectful attitude in walking over when the whole team was celebrating, not wanting any part of it. No, he can go. We only bought him for 5 million. There's somebody you can sell for about 15, 20 million and still make money on him. He can go. There's the reason why only Everton or Newcastle are coming in for him, because everyone else realizes he peaked way too early and he's not that now.
Yeah, I mean, do you think you'd work? Obviously, in the puns asked if you think you'd work in a foreign league, Alan, but do you think anyone would come for him now from a foreign league, or do you think it's just the Newcastle, Evertons and teams like that?
Well, no one is coming in for him. That's a sign right there. I mean, actually, last season, let's be honest, let's be fair. Last season, I think Poch made an inquiry about him, but it didn't go through. So maybe Poch would take him there in a league. I don't even think it's a league. For me, he can only play in that like number 10 shadow striker role, where he excelled, but he's not going to play in that position for us because the system doesn't work. Is there a system in the Premier League or thing that he'd be able to walk in and be in that number 10 or shadow striker role? I don't think there is. So for me, his career is only going backwards.
Yeah, I mean, before I go to Mark on the next one, Alan, I think Mark touched on it earlier, but Lloris finally signing that 2-year deal. How happy are you about that?
Ecstatic, because Galini's not it. Lloris has been a terrific servant to the club. Don't get me wrong; he's had his bits where he's where he's made absolute howlers. But everyone does that in their career, And for me, he's been so consistent. It's probably been one of his most consistent seasons. I can't remember him putting a foot wrong. I honestly can't. And literally, normally with Hugo Lloris, let's go back to the work where he dislocated his elbow or shoulder against Brighton, a howling mistake. He's done so many of them before, come charging out and giving away penalties and getting sent off as well because of silly mistakes in previous seasons. He's not done any of that. For me, he could still catch a bit more than he punches when he punches. So he could do that a bit better. But even there, he's been more decisive in those kind of actions this season. And to say somebody's getting, for me, looks like they're getting better at 35, that's only, that's only credit to him as a player and as a professional. So, yeah, I think keep him for next 2 years. And this is where you need to use these 2 years properly to buy a young, world-class keeper and turn him into the next Hugo Lloris or like Alisson or I can't even. Who's the Man City keeper?
Ederson.
Literally, Ederson. Oh my God, my old age. Literally, I could not think of his name for a second. I'm getting too old. But yeah, you need to look at that kind of quality at a young keeper to bring him in like we did with Lloris when he was 25. So yeah, you need to do that again. So give yourself 2 years to do that because Galini's not it. And for the people that I know that we've been linked with, Henderson and Pope, I think they're okay keepers or good keepers, but I don't think they'll reach that level.
Well, Mark, if you're Galini now, obviously Lloris's contract, he signed it today, and his words were exactly like he loves this club. Obviously, the fans have been behind him through every day he's been there, but he will find us the next goalkeeper to be with us for 10 years. Now, if you're Galini listening to that, you know that there's no chance we're signing you now. So
Bye-bye.
How important is Lloris going to be in that? Is he going to be like Petr Cech is for Chelsea? Obviously, he found Mendy in his old French club. Well, can Lloris do something like that for us?
I'm sure he could. And those were his words. He said, I'm here for the next 2 years and I'm going to help find the next goalkeeper that's going to be here for the next 10 years. And if this keeper's 75% of what Lloris is when he comes in and he can work with Lloris for a year and a half and he can get to Lloris's standard and better, then fair play. I don't know. Would you guys take Schmeichel as an understudy to come in? I know you must play first team football, but would you take Schmeichel?
I don't think we'd get him. I think he's a quality keeper, but I don't.
So do I.
He's not at the age to be an understudy now. He's happy. Like he'll finish his career in Leicester. He will.
Probably, yeah. But I would look at Henderson at Man United, but I don't think he's going to come as a number 2. I think we're going to have to go to Europe. We're going to have to find like a young keeper that's 24, 25, that's willing to come over, learn from somebody like Lloris, who, remember, he's a World Cup winner, hey? So we must never forget that. So, I like Lloris, like Alan said. This has probably been one of his best 2 seasons that he's been with us. What's he been with us now? 11, 12, 13 years, somewhere around there. So this has been one of his best 2 seasons, hasn't he? He's been really consistent. To be fair, even his kicking got a little bit better because that was his worst part of his game, wasn't it? His distribution. Even that he's got better. But listen, as a shot stopper for me, I think he's in one of the he's a top 3 goalkeeper for me. As shot stopping goes, I don't think there's many keepers that stop shots like his. He saved us again on Wednesday, didn't he? When Harvey Barnes went through. The
Maddison shot.
Yeah, the Maddison shot. So I think there's, I think, like you said, sometimes he has a bit of a clanger maybe, but he saved us more times than he's done a clanger. So I'm just so pleased he signed it. Now we've got that monkey off our back. We can stop worrying about that and we can move on to bigger and better things. But yeah, I think Galini will go because I don't think he's the right keeper for us. Like I said to you, he's sponsored by Ready Mix, and he doesn't move. He just stands there. He's like a man of cement. But we need to do something quick, and I think we'll do something in the summer. I think this is where Paratici and people like that, Conte maybe, I think they'll start looking and, sit down with Lloris because, Lloris must know a lot of young goalkeepers in France and all that, coming through the French leagues, playing in the French academy, like the French under 20, 21s, those kind of keepers. I think the future's bright for us there. We got him for 2.5 years. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, Alan, another central defender that we've miraculously been linked with out of the blue is Diego Carlos from Seville. Obviously, he was close to Newcastle, and then apparently the London club is Tottenham that won him. Do you see someone like that coming in for 35 million? Do you think Levy and Lewis will pay that amount for a defender at 29?
History and evidence says no. But who knows anymore? Is Conte getting what he wants in, like, saying, I need this, I need that? For me, Conte's a world-class manager. If he picks somebody that he wants and he wants them there, pay the money. Because we've done things for so many years in the fact that we always buy a second, third, fourth choice we mess about with money and payments and stuff like that, and it takes so long to get people in, and more often than not, we get the wrong person in, or we lose out on a player because we take too long. Just let Conte, if Conte goes, I want this player for this amount and all that, give it to him. We can spend big money on players like Ndombele that don't quite work out. So if Conte has chosen Diego Carlos to be the centre back who he wants, give him the money to do it. It's as simple as that, because, like I said, he's performing miracles with the team we've got. Because let's be honest, yeah, we've got some good players, but this team has fallen substantially compared to what it was under Poch and even under Mourinho. I think it was probably even worse under Nuno. You know, although we bought players in, I don't think they were up to it. He's performing miracles with the team he's got. So just let him have whoever he wants. Let him buy in whoever he wants and go from there. Just give him free reign, because we fast about so much with signings and payments and all that. Just get it done. Get it done early. Let Conte pick who he wants. Get things done early so you have a full pre-season, because I don't think we're going to sign many now in January. And let us build a team, because we always wait to the end of the transfer window. We start slow, and then by the time you get them into the thing and play better, we're already about 15 points behind. Yeah. You know, just start early and just identify the people early, pay the money, and get business done.
Definitely, Alan, 1,000,000% that. Prime's asked about Lafont, the French goalkeeper. I think he's going to be one of 3 that Lloris would offer us. I think he's one. I honestly think that Alphonse Areola, who's on loan at West Ham at the minute, will be another one. And I would say Mainan, the AC Milan goalkeeper, but they will want a lot of money for him at the minute. But Nipun's asked if any of us would take Melier from Leeds. I wouldn't. Alan, would you?
No.
Mark?
I think he's a good keeper. I think he's a very good keeper. He's young. I think you could mould him into it. I think, you know, when you look at the young keepers in the English Premier League, I think he's a decent keeper. I think he's done a lot of good stuff for Leeds when I've watched Leeds. So, yeah, I wouldn't write the young kid off working with somebody like Lloris. But he's been playing first team now for what, the last 2 seasons? Is he going to want to play second fiddle? And unfortunately, whoever comes, it's like the Harry Kane thing. Unless you play next to him, so you can't have 2 goalkeepers playing at the same time. So unless Conte plays 2 strikers up, you know, whoever comes in for Harry Kane is going to play second fiddle. So you're always going to have to kind of take a downgrade with somebody younger and bring them up again, unfortunately.
Do you know who I would actually say that? A youngster from Leeds, young striker, Gerhardt.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I think he's a quality young striker, and I think given the time to adapt to in the Premier League and learn from Harry Kane and obviously play like that, I reckon he'd become a great striker. That's who I would take from Leeds.
Yeah, he's a very good young player. But Mark, the player that looks more or less done, I'm going to come to you about the baby oil man, the machine on the right-hand side. I mean, I know Alan don't like him. Alan's not a fan, but will you be happy with him coming into the side?
I'm not happy. I'm unhappy. You know, he doesn't sit there and wow me. I haven't seen him do anything spectacular. Conte must see something in him. So, you know, like you keep on saying, Ryan, we need to trust Conte. So if Conte sees something, I just look back at the whole thing that he did for Victor Moses, and if he can change Conte, if he can change Traore, because make no mistake, nobody likes facing him. He's quick, isn't he? Traore is. I think they say he's the quickest in the league, or if he's not, he's one of the top 2 quickest over like a 100-meter dash or something. So he's got a product, has he? And that's always going to be the thing. Is that's be there for if he's going to play wing back. He needs to.
Is that my connection, Marks?
He's on mute. Ryan, you're on mute.
I believe that's Mark's connection. That's
my connection. What's wrong with my connection?
Right. You're cutting out. It's like all distorted. So we're only catching every couple of words. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
It seems to have sorted itself. It seems to have sorted itself out now. It's okay. Fine. It was just I couldn't hear you.
So yeah. I'm not over enthralled about it, but I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt only because Conte seems to like him, and you know, Conte knows more about football management than I do. So if anybody's going to be able to lift his game, it's going to be him. And I'll go back to it and I'll caveat it with, there's no defender in the Premier League that will want to have him running at them, because he is very quick, isn't he? He's in the top. I think he's one of the top 2 quickest in the Premier League. If he does come, we just need to see how we can get his end product, because he needs to be able to cross a ball. He needs to be able to dribble, and that's the difference. You look at Lucas Moura, he's maybe not as quick as Traore, but the speed of his feet and the way he can run and dribble, for me, he's 10 times better than Traore, So that's the difference. So, yeah, like Alan doesn't want him at all. Me, I'm neither here nor there. I trust in Conte, to be fair.
Yeah, there's nothing, Alan. There's nothing about this at all. If you not look at this and feel like he brings a different dynamic to this team, obviously every game he plays, he does draw defenders into him, which leaves space for maybe a Kane or a Son. I know his end product is really bad at the minute. Like, I think he's only got 1 goal this season, no assists. But is there nothing that excites you about it?
Don't get me wrong. So people just say that I don't like anything about him. Like I said, he's powerful and he can run at pace, which is good. Okay, we don't have that on the right-hand side. But the thing we're lacking also on the right-hand side is assists, decent balls into the box, which I don't see him doing much of. And also somebody capable of defending as a right wing back. And I don't ever see him being capable of doing that as well. Because for me, he doesn't defend at Wolves from what I've seen of him. He's all about going forward. So the 2 areas where we're also struggling, he's not going to improve much. If Conte can get that out of him and improve him, I'll hold my hands up and say, great bit of business. Conte's done what he did with Victor Moses, improve somebody who's got very good attributes in certain areas and developed him into a much better player. That's a very big if. Also, the whole thing about Conte's identified him. I'm sorry, but we were linked to him in the summer as well before Conte got here. That's more a ball signing than it is a Conte signing. They've identified him and believe we want him at this club. And maybe Conte has gone, certain things there I can work with and stuff like that, but it's more of a ball signing than a Conte signing for me.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, do you see anyone else coming in this January? Obviously, we've been massively linked to Kessie again, who we want to sign in January. There was rumours floating around earlier tonight about us going for one big last push for Vlahovic this January, and Alistair Gold has said tonight that we do want a backup striker for Kane, but it's taken what was it, the 20th or 21st today? We still haven't got Traore over the line. Levy and that lot are still haggling over 5 million. Do you see anybody else coming in, or just Traore, or maybe nobody?
Look, do you know what? I'm still confident we'll get 3. I think Traore, looking at everybody's comments, I think Traore is a done deal by all accounts, and I think it's just the medical now. So this could happen over the next few days, and come Monday, he's a player. I got a sneaky suspicion, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know too much about him, and you guys must probably watch him more than me, because I don't really watch a lot of Italian football, if I'm honest. So Kessie, I've been hearing the name. A lot of people say he's gifted and he's good. I got a sneaky suspicion we're going to get him. And I don't know, does he improve the side? Does he walk straight into our side? You guys will tell me more. Does he?
He does, yeah.
Definitely.
Who goes out? Is it a Winks that
Winks,
goes out?
yeah.
Winks. The only issue we've got is it could be he is a very talented midfielder. He's box to box. He brings something different, but at the same time, it's a different style of football. He could turn out to be Ndombele for all we know. So it's always a risk.
Absolutely. But the reason I think we'll go for him now is because I think Conte and Paratici are a bit scared that he'll have the pick of the clubs come the summertime, because he's out of contract, isn't he? And then he gets to choose, because that's where his value's 0 and clubs will pay him what he wants. Where I think if we had to go in with a 30, 40 million kind of for Kessie now, is it AC Milan might turn around and say, yeah. And with Conte being there, I think Kessie will want to come. So I got a sneaky suspicion. I'd love to see, I can't say his name. What's his, Vlahovic? Vlahovic, or whatever his name. Yeah. I'd love to see him, because I think he's young, he's exciting, working with Kane, working with Conte. I think we got choices there where we can play the two of them or we can play one at a time. I don't see it because I think he will have the pick. I think somebody like him, like a Haaland, they can wait another 6 months and then they will have the pick of who they want to go to. I see more somebody coming to us will be more like a Dybala. If somebody's going to come, it will be more in that kind of a mold.
I'll be annoyed if we don't get Vlahovic because young striker, he's obviously predominantly left-footed, but he can head the ball, he can finish with his right, he's touch and everything like that. He's so good at a young age, and that's the thing. He would be able to have time to blend in, adapt to this league because obviously you'd still have Kane there, but you'd still be able to have, it would be all on him, so he could adapt to the league, he could bed in at his own time because it wouldn't be all on him to come in and score 30 goals a season. You can grow him into the league, into the team. So that's why I think we should have pulled the trigger. If we don't get him, especially if he goes to the scum down the road, I will be absolutely livid.
I don't think he'll go there.
I'm hoping he don't. I don't think we're going to miss out on him.
I think if he goes somewhere, I think he goes to like a Real Madrid, or I think he goes to Barcelona or someone like that.
Juventus.
Yeah. Well, where I'd love all my money on, I think at the start of next season he'll be playing for Borussia Dortmund.
You reckon?
I think
it's going to be Juventus.
But why would he go to Borussia Dortmund?
It'll be Haaland's replacement. It's Haaland's replacement. It'll be the main man. He's 21 years old. Still got loads of time to go yet. There's so many things. I'd love it. I would love us to sign. If like Alan said, if the scum signed him, I'll be livid. Absolutely.
It wouldn't surprise me if Pep goes for him at Man City, something like that.
I know. Haaland. I think Haaland's at City. I think Haaland's done deal at City.
Where City?
Yeah.
You think he'll go City?
I think he's a
I don't. I think he goes Spain. Yeah. I think he goes to Spain. Haaland does.
Yeah, but no one in Spain can really afford him. Bloody Madrid's president's still looking at the Super League. Barcelona couldn't afford a shop at Aldi. There's no one in that league who could get him at the minute.
Barcelona are the new us in shopping terms. We always tend to shop at Aldi.
Alan, before we finish up, how are you like Marcus? Obviously, do you think it's just Adama? Do you think we'll get maybe a couple more in, or do you think we'll even manage to fluff the Adama transfer?
With our history of signings, it wouldn't surprise me if we got to the end of this transfer window and nothing. It wouldn't surprise me, and then it wouldn't surprise me if Conte was like, "Goodbye." That's how our luck always is with signings and managers. But don't get me wrong, we need new blood in this team. So I'll take Adama because of that new blood, and because normally when you get a new signing in, it tends to lift the team as well. So and like I said, although he's not got the attributes that we need on the right hand side, he's better than what we've got. I'm not going to say he's overly he's not as good better than what we've got because that's just going to be a lie. See what Conte can do. Kessie, I think he'd be a great signing for in the middle of the park for us. He would walk straight into the team. He's powerful, and that's what we need. Højbjerg's more defense-minded and Skip's defense-minded Skip, but I think Kessie's the one who would bridge the gap into the strikers. I would absolutely love Vlahovic because, I think he's going to be a quality striker. I just don't think we'll pull the trigger. As a backup, as a young striker to, develop and all that, I said Gerhard, I'd have him from Leeds all day long. I think he's a good player. But then obviously also I think we need another centre-back. So I don't know who's around for us to be linked to. So
I know we've been linked to that. Is it De Vrij, the Inter Milan centre-back? Obviously Conte.
Yeah, so he's a quality centre back, but for me, in the Premier League, you don't need an aging backline. You need a backline that's mobile, and I think 28, isn't he? So
yeah,
I think 28 he is, and then obviously you got Dyer, who's now 28, 29. So you get into a very elderly, and Davies is around that age as well. So you get into an elderly backline. I'd like to keep a backline who's quality across the back with around the 24, 25, still mobile, still athletic, because that's what you need in this league.
But I think we need to be sensible. I think, if we can get 3 signings in, You know, I think that will be good for January. I think then come the summer, then you'll see another 3 or 4, because that we know the summer is where most of our business is going to be done, or most clubs are. So if we can get 3, so we need to look at what are the most important 3. Now, obviously, Traore is going to come if Traore does come, but who goes? Do we get rid of Doherty or Emerson Royal? I think it'll be Doherty, if I'm honest. And then if Ndombele does go, and if we do manage to let sell Delhi or let him go on loan, you know, what's important? Is it Kessie? Is it a forward like what Alan's saying, or is it another centre back? You know, I think centre back we wait for the summer, because I think that's when they come up. You know, like the De Vrij guy, or you know, a Skriniar. I'd prefer Skriniar, to be fair. He's the one for me that I would like to bring in.
Our problem area is midfield at the moment, because
absolutely.
Let's be honest, it's quite weak. You need somebody in there of quality who can just
if you think
control and dictate a game.
If Kessie is that kind of player where you can play Højbjerg and you can play Skippy, and then you got Kessie in the middle, if that's the kind of we need a playmaker, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, but I've said it all along. If they back Conte and get him the signings in he needs in this window, we'll get top 4. If they don't, then I think we'll struggle to get top 4.
That's right. We need signings. We do. If we want top 4, as good a manager as he is, we cannot get top 4 with who we've got at the minute. He does need to be backed. Yeah. Kessie won't come up with that much. Obviously, Mark mentioned like 30 million earlier. He's out of contract in 6 months.
I don't even think it'll be that 30 million.
No, it'll be between 15, 20 million, something like maybe the Adama deal or something like that. But gentlemen, we're an hour and 15 minutes over now, so thank you again. Obviously, Kirst has had to go for parental duties. Thank you very much, Alan. Your prediction for Sunday's London derby?
1-0.
1-0. Goal scorer?
I think we have to score first. If they score first, they go on to win the game. So for me, I'm saying 1-0 draw. We'd score first and try and hold on. So Mora.
You call me a moron?
Yeah. Well, I always call you a moron. I always call you a moron. Nah, Mora. Lucas Moura.
So just for clarification, like what Kirsty said in our WhatsApp group, if we say Kane to score, that means he has to score first in the game.
In the game.
Not score first for Tottenham.
Yeah, in the game.
All right, no worries.
First goal scorer in the game,
Yeah. I'm going to go that he's going to start 5 in the midfield. I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to go 2-0 to us. I really am. I'm up for this. I'm up for this. If Wednesday night, what we saw at Wednesday night at the end there, if that doesn't galvanize, if that doesn't make you want to come out and play for this team and see that you're playing for a world-class manager and you want to lift your game, then we've got no hope. So I'm going to go. You know, when you hear our fans sing, do you know what? We had 3,000 fans there. They had 30,000 fans. And all I could hear was the Tottenham fans singing.
Yeah.
You know, so for them fans that are going to go to Chelsea, to Stamford Bridge, and if we can play like we played on Wednesday and actually start to convert, I'm going to go 2-0, and I'm going to go the main man. I'm going to go Harry Kane. He's going to come right. So 2-0 Harry Kane, yeah.
Yeah, well, I predicted this game. I put it in my phone as soon as the Leicester game was done. I was on that much of a high. I put the prediction in. I'm going to keep my prediction for that game. I went for a 2-1. Are you all right over there?
Still getting over Mark's guess. Wow, bloody hell. And then you go and hit me with that. Wow, you're very confident considering our history at Chelsea.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. It's the hope that kills, Alan. It is always...
I've got no more hope with this Tottenham side. No more hope. It's been killed all out of me.
I'm going 2-1 Tottenham win, and the goal scorer I'm going for first is our Flying Dutchman, old Stephen Bergvine. That's why I'm having to get the first. I think you'll start him. I do.
You think
What have
he'll
you been
start him?
smoking? What have you been smoking,
Wow.
Ryan, tonight?
You think you'll start him?
I do think he'll start. I've gone massively different to you. Like I think he's going to take Winks out, bring Bergvine in, and go 3 at the top, 2 in the middle. That's how.
Then we lose. Then we lose.
They'll tear through us in the middle.
Yeah, I agree with Alan there. I have to agree with that.
They've done it in the League Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I didn't say it was gonna. Today, I don't feel like it'll be a success. After the Leicester game, I thought we could beat anybody with 4 men. It didn't bother me. So I've got to be true to myself. It was in my notes on my phone that I written down, so I'll keep it. I've got a lead. I've got a solid lead at the top anyway.
And on that, bombshell kids, don't do drugs, Laura.
yeah. Go to school. Go to school.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
Don't sniff glue.
I can't believe how any of you can say this to me when I'm 5 points clear at the top.
Well, hold on. Okay, this one I'll give to you, the Leicester and all that game, but we didn't see the results for some time from your thing.
We were so far ahead of him. He had 2 points when we were on 8. Now all of a sudden he's 5 points ahead of us. No,
these are facts.
You saw my magical skills with the Leicester result. 3-2.
I gave you that one. I said we saw it, but the other ones didn't see it.
Just trust me now, Alan.
For the other ones, I'm going to. Ryan, for the other ones, all the other results we did, I'm going to do my Arsene Wenger impression. I did not see it.
Look, I'm leading. It's fine. We're going to win at the bridge 2-1. Stephen Bergvine's going to start. He's going to get his goal.
Where am I? Am I second in the
You
prediction?
are second and Mark is third, yeah.
All right. I'm coming for you, Ryan. I'm coming for you.
Hey, I admire the competition, Alan. I need somebody getting a bit lonely at the top.
Well, actually, let's honest competition, Mark. I'm first, you're second, because somebody obviously blagged their way to the top.
Fine.
I need new panelists. I'm going to start this competition from the beginning.
Quick question. It's supposed to be internationals next week, is it?
Oh.
No, it's just. I think it's just a winter break. They're doing this new winter break at the end of January.
I saw that because England's not playing, but Argentina are playing. So we've got some players going away.
South Americans are, but obviously the European.
There's no European. So is it supposed to be a winter break?
Yeah, just a winter break. Yeah.
I'm surprised they're not trying to arrange any games.
We should play Burnley and Brighton over these next 2 weeks. I mean, we're not going to miss Lo Celso, are we? Let's be honest. We're not going to miss Lo Celso. We're not going.
Who?
Yeah, that Lo Celso guy.
Who?
Yeah, correct.
What does he get the drinks for the team? I don't know. What does he do?
He's the main bloody man for Argentina. That's what he does.
Main man? What's this?
Romero, I mean that'll piss Argentina right off, wouldn't it? Send Lo Celso away, get our games in hand played, and Romero starts while they're playing in South America.
Oh, that's the dream.
The perfect way to do it. But gentlemen, as every Friday, thank you very much. We've gone 22 minutes over what we should have, but it's no problem. We have fun. There's so much to always talk about with Tottenham. It's never going to be an hour. Thank you to Kirst as well, who did come on. Thank you to Jacob, who sent his thoughts and prayers for a good show, as he does every Friday when he can't come on. So thank you very much. Alan, you seem geared to say something. Would you like to say something, Alan?
Do I? I'm just sitting here. Why do you always think I'm going to say something?
It must just be. It just must be your presence. I always feel
just be my facial expression.
Even me saying thank you to everyone, I feel like you want to argue with me.
I don't. What? I'm not argumentative.
He comes on here for a good discussion. He's got Alan at him all hours.
The abuse I have to take, it's just unreal. It's like bullying, proper bullying an old man.
I feel like you're going to be repulsed that I'm a bully. I'm not. I'm not. Far from it.
Right, let's get going.
Yes, thank you both very much. Thank you everyone who's watched. Like the video.
Are we here next Friday, or are we having an international break?
Review the Chelsea game.
Yeah, we'll review the Chelsea game.
Review the Chelsea game, yeah.
And hopefully 2 or 3 players in by that time next Friday.
Be good,
maybe,
yeah, because
maybe,
we'll have 3 days left, won't we, till the transfer window?
maybe Daniel Levy will work that magic that we all know and love. Alan, calm down. Thank you all very much. Subscribe to the First 11. Like this video. We're here every Friday, 10 o'clock. Until next weekend, gentlemen. See you then.